Well, here we are back at the pub. We're going to finish the day with a really simple recipe that I just love. Now, the reason I've chosen this recipe, which is sort of like a seared beef carpaccio, but cut a little bit thicker, is we're using some beautiful local produce. What we've got here is a beautiful eye fillet of beef. It's from a yearling, and it's from the Arvin Ra farm, which is stone's throw over there, and we're going to coat it with some lemon myrtle oil, which is just delicious, and that's grown another stone's throw down the road by Perry's, and it is fantastic. But I'll talk to you about that a little bit later. Let's get cooking. So, eye fillet steak, carpaccio, but we're going to sear it. So first thing we need to do is add some salt to the steak, and what you want to do is get your big eye fillet. You can use either end of the fillet or any piece of the fillet for you, but I would use fillet in this case. Reason being is because we're going to eat it very rare, if not raw. You can cook it to your liking if you like. So we just give that a little coat in the oil. And the fillet is the best thing when you've got to cook it raw because it's so tender. It doesn't have as much flavour as the other cuts of meat, but it doesn't have that fat content, which is what you want to avoid when you're eating raw food. Okay, so into a hot pan that goes. And we're just going to sear it on all sides. It should take about a minute on each side. I've got one I've already prepared, so let's jump over here and show you what it looks like. As you can see, it's just seared ever so slightly just on the outside, and with a very sharp knife. I'll take that piece off first. Now, don't be put off by this. It is raw, but it's slightly seared. So once you've sliced it, you just place it on your plate here, and you can see you just sort of fill up all the holes so you've got a lovely covering of the meat. So once that's done, we're going to top it with some beautiful ingredients. Now, the first one is lemon myrtle oil. So, as mentioned, they grow this beautiful lemon myrtle around the corner here, and these are the leaves. It's a native product, and they dry out the leaves and they make a powder of it. So you see it in a lot of native Australian restaurants or indigenous flavoured foods. They also make this beautiful aromatic or essential oil from the plant and the leaf, and what we're going to do is add a couple of drops into the oil to about 100 mils of extra virgin olive oil, and that just adds a lovely lemon scent, and they say it's very good for depression. It's meant to make you feel good, so I love food that makes you feel good, so we give that a liberal dressing over the steak, which is beautiful. Now we're just going to add a few more other ingredients. We've got some cheese, some Parmesan cheese, which is a classic on Italian carpaccios. So we just shave that, or you can grate it if you want it a little bit finer. That is beautiful. Now we've also got some little croutons I've cooked just in a little bit of oil. So some wholemeal bread or some sourdough is great. That just adds a little bit of texture and a beautiful flavour as well. So that goes on. We've also got some chives. Now, you can pretty much add any herb you like. The reason I like chives in a carpaccio, it just adds that little hint of onion flavour. Now, that just gets sprinkled over the top. Okay, I might give it a good hit with some seasoning now, some salt and pepper. It's already got a little bit on the outside, but you really want to get that spice into the fleshy part of the beef. Speaking of spice, we've got a little hot chilli. I can't help myself. I love anything with a bit of heat. So very finely, slice that, and just grab a few of them and just scatter it on. So it doesn't overpower the beef, but you just get that lovely hit of spice and heat. Lastly, we're going to throw a little bit of rocket over the top. Look at that, that is perfect for a spring barbecue. Now, we've made a dish here with some local produce, and you know what's going to be better? Having that with a nice cold beer from the pub with no beer.